You'll simply hear the hit myself.
So I checked into this place a couple of days ago, and I extended it by 2 days and then 2 days because there was good deal on their website. While I was sitting waiting to come in, look, I was very pleased to be in. Yeah, I actually had arrived early and they said the room's ready. That was great. And they're quite busy. And it's very nice. It's very nice. All new stuff, for example. I mean, look, living in an apartment's different. Living in the city's different to what I'm used to. And look, certainly compared to a hotel. I mean, it was wonderful just to have a washing machine, a dryer, and be able to a fridge to put food in and cook. If you know, admittedly, I had what were actually quite nice meals from Woolworths, curries in the microwave, but still cooking. And either I couldn't do that in a hotel. And for the price that they gave me, at least was quite good, all things considered. There's a similar drama with the government issued ID because I don't have the physical card for the driver's license. And they were reasonable enough the other day. I showed him the certified copy of the passport that I've used at other places, the Grand, the Mayfair, among others. I've had to go through them. There's more. Just trying to remember the name of them. There's a couple other ones down the bay. Been no real dramas. Initial dramas, but then no drama. It's not that word. He said it down there. Very blue. It's coming out of my phone. I just took pictures of the thing on the ground because he didn't seem to want to give me a copy of this contract that I'd signed for the additional 4 nights. He's got the dates wrong, so I'm going to go back down and just explain. Can you rectify this, please? Because because I'm here till Sunday, not Saturday. That says, I mean, look, I was originally here Tuesday. That's a separate one. So this is supposed to be 2 new ones, but he did it as 2 new ones, but the paperwork only reflects 1 new one, and it doesn't have a particular day. And given how he knocked on my door this morning, and a few of the other things, I'm like, well, he didn't really want to give me this. So he actually sent me I said, can I have a copy of that as well? I just signed it. And he said, I said, well, it's a contract. It's important. Because I was trying to read it. He said, you don't have to read that. And I said, well, I'd like to read it. I'm signing it. I wasn't rude or anything. I'm not far from it. It's difficult to see the one he sent me because it's like that, you know? And that's, no one's going to read it anyway, but no, just a flirt, whatever. That's what happens when you take a picture of things on the phone. It can't happen unless you focus it right. He's obviously got a lot on his plate, no doubt. A lot of rooms here, got all sorts of things going on. And with all the bullshit the government puts any place through that wants to continue doing business, especially since all the COVID bullshit. It's amazing. Look, it's amazing in many ways that just about any commercial entity is able to still be going at this point. But look, it's even more surprising that any living man or woman is, in a sense, as well. You're dealing with any of them because a lot of them, some of them, are stuck. And it's a paradigm that needs, pulverise isn't the right word. Something that I'm trying to stick with peas, probably move on from the peas, perhaps, possibly. We need to push past the paradigm, or push perhaps back to prior times when such paradigms weren't here or were more reasonable, hadn't exponentially tightened while expanding all at the same time in a way that can leave some convinced that, oh, they've got freedom all the time, and others, perhaps those more with a mind, to be like, holy shit, they're trying to constrict us beyond or back to before we were needed to be so, I'll say quick, because it partly rhymed, I'm not sure if it did now. Yeah, there's a lot of rushing that goes on. But again and again, it's like, it's a lot of one-way streets pretend to be two-way streets in the realm around me. A lot seems, to be a lot of trick or treat, and it's not. Yeah, sometimes the treats aren't so neat, and the tricks are, well, a lot of them are coming from those that, well, you'd been trained to consider were not that sort of treat. Oh, they're not the trick, that's right, but they just seem like they're the treat. That's part of the thing. Anyhow, I had to go back down there and just ask him to, because I'd like a copy of, he didn't seem to want to do it. He said, I'll send it, because I had the physical copy, I had to sign it, so he just photocopy it. Maybe he hasn't got a photocopy. Either way, he didn't say that. A number of things I've had to, as with everything, constantly piece together myself, because the words even that others that seem like men and women are using, well, they're used indiscriminately, in a discriminate manner, it would seem, in such a way that, well, look, it's up to me to presume one way or another, or assume that they knew what they were saying, or they know what they were saying, or yada yada. Probably not a word, you know what I mean, though. Because, there's a number of things. So I'll go back down and get him to redo this with the correct dates, because for all I know, he's going to knock on my door on the Saturday morning and say, oh, we've got a thing here, it's going to be on the Sunday, well, on Saturday. I'm like, well, no, it was 2 nights and 2 nights, we didn't discuss it down there. But because I got 2 different text messages from them, one of them is all zeros. I don't know who the fuck was who. I figured I was going to be down this morning anyway, to even though they're taking my credit card number over the internet, which is always, far from comforting. Could, because this is part of the, obviously part of the mess, part of the problem that we're in. So anyhow, so I'd started just to read through. I can't read his copy. Fortunately, the paper copy that I just took a picture of, it's very blue. Not fortunately that. Just saying, fortunately I did that. Because he's like, oh, the number came from. So I was going, is this? I said, is this you? Because the numbers came, it says from Bobo. And then eventually turned out he was Bobo. And I said, oh, cool, thank you, nice to meet you, Bobo. I'm Anthony. He didn't really say anything to that. One of the interesting things he said while we were down there, which I thought was interesting. He said, oh, let's see. It's very blue, isn't it? I was like, wow, that's sitting here, I'm not very good with the phone. I think people think you're making it up when you say that, or when I talk about you, but when I do, often it seems, maybe it's because they got something else going on, or, look, it's a lot on his mind, perhaps. And that's why I need to go down and just clarify that, look, we are naming the copy with the correct dates, please, because there's a lot on all of our minds. I'm not putting it just on you, Bobo. I took a picture just here. It was extremely blue. Oh, the TV. I went up to film the TV just then, because I thought perhaps it's coming from the TV, and it went like that. A lot of funny things. That's the time. Allegedly. I mean, these all have different times, but I found that quite refreshing in a way, because, they're one's 40 minutes faster than the other. Something, 41. No, back to actually 31, so it changed. It did seem to change the other day, and I thought, well, Is that me? I don't think so. I don't think it is. I think it's done it again. What am I doing? Yeah. Yeah, so I just took this picture of the thing on the ground there. And I was like, wow, it's coming out awfully blue. And it is. Still. It's the same picture, just, as opposed to the one down there. Yeah, that's the interesting thing you said. A few interesting things. Look, I'm never really wanted. I've always avoided the city like the plague for a number of reasons. A lot of those reasons have been reminded of. I've just been approaching things with a fresh and newer mind. One, in that while I need somewhere to live, and this place is furnished, wonderful. In fact, wander to the supermarket and get food. And I can wander back, and try and have a little bit of, pretend I've got a little bit of space. It's good for now. Pros and cons to everything. And ironically, they wanted to. Well, a girl on the phone who rang up a couple of times from the hotel, allegedly, or the company or something along those lines. It was like, I said, look, I might stay. I was just, can you give me a quote on how much I stay for a month? Now, I'd only just got in here at that time, and I knew I was being overly optimistic and excited, just the fact that I had somewhere momentarily to pretend and call mine. So she was very keen for me to make all that arrangement right there and there. I said, no, look, can you just send me something and I'll stay for let me stay for the weekend. And I've extended it twice. I told her that. She rang twice. Can't recall her name. She did say. I've not received anything since. I thought the 000 number may have been from her on behalf of the hotel or vice versa, Doesn't seem it was. Seems it was BOBO. He's got a couple of numbers and he's, they're using them. Fair enough. That's what they're for, I suppose. He said this morning, just before, he said, can you turn the... I had said, I had trouble getting the range hood to work. Actually, I think I said this afterwards, I'm not sure. But he said he pulled the thing out. Oh, cool, and that does work. I had gone to do that, but I didn't want to break it. None of the switches work. Let's move it. I've got it on that mode. So I'll come back in here. Yeah, it worked. Pulled it out. Sweet. Thanks, Bobo. I had inquired earlier down there because I couldn't get the exhaust fan in the bathroom to work. Now, I can't speak for everyone as far as what they do in the bathroom. It's where the toilet is. So, just speaking for me, I use the toilet in a quite appropriate manner. If you're going to try and put that into binary terms, you might consider it's two rather than one. Admittedly, not so binary, but you should know what I'm saying. I sat on that toilet to do that's how I was taught to do it. I mean, I'm finding people doing things manner of different ways and places in this game, and a lot of it's a lot of it's can be a bit confronting. Smells a bit. It's not really for me to do it that way, and it wouldn't be my first choice, that's for sure. Or my second. Some of the things I've been seeing, but let's not get into that. Not just seeing. Point is, this was mine. Did it in the toilet, the bathroom, and so the exhaust fan doesn't work. And it's not as if it's great. There's a little balcony in the end. I realised, that might have been why the air conditioner thing was on flat out when I came in. I thought, that makes sense. That's the only way you're going to clear the bloody air because it doesn't seem to go on. There's another one in the little laundry bit, which is like a cupboard. That seems to go on. Because I asked a girl downstairs, and she was like, that works here. She was very nice. She said, no. I said, is there a switch? Because I couldn't. She goes, no, it comes on when the light comes on. I said, okay, I couldn't. I said, it didn't seem to be working. I got the one above the washer dryer that came on slightly. I could hear that, but I said, that's all right. It might be. So that's cool. Thank you. I'll just have a look. And it doesn't really work, the one in the bathroom. But I figured, all right, but if you open too hard to work out. But you open the balcony doors, one or two of them, and keep the light on, because you got to keep the light on in there for the freaking fan to work. eventually, look, it clears me. So I open the door. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. That's yeah. So that's what you're doing there. Is you have a shower. Like that's what I did in there. So what's interesting is he said while I was down there this morning, he goes, and because I was asleep when he knocked on the door. I'd woken up earlier, then I'd gone back to sleep. So that's there's a bed there. This was for. I thought it's probably you probably remember things like I use it for sleeping. Yeah, I'm a bit. I don't know. Don't seem to be. I don't know what that's expected in this. This place is called Realm. I thought that was quite funny. In this realm, I don't know what's. I seem to be doing things in an unexpected manner repeatedly, and it seems like someone getting real angry at it. But a lot of that goes on a lot through there. Who knows at this stage? Might even be coming out on there. Also, might just be distracting me from what I was about to say. It was just he said, turn the light up, and when you go to sleep, turn the bathroom light off. Now I had fallen asleep with the light on. I got at one point turned it off. I said to Ma, okay, and there's another bloke next to him who I'd seen yesterday in the lifts, and they were discussing how filthy someone had left one of the rooms or something. It sounded like they were still in there, and I was thinking, geez, that's harsh. They must have to do with a whole lot of bullshit. No doubt they do. But I said to him, well, no worries, baby. I said, well, the reason I had the light on is just to try and get the exhaust fan to work. The exhaust fan doesn't really work in there. It works. It works in the one I just explained here. I said, so that's why the light was on, so that because that's for the exhaust fan to work. Because I said I was trying to get rid of the smell, and he was like, he just didn't answer. And what's interesting is the bloke next to him, an Indian dude, he's a nice bloke. But say I don't know if I read minds or whatever it is. I feel too much a lot of the time, as in, I know others' thoughts, feelings. A lot of them come through me, and it was not always. Sometimes it's pleasant, not often, in fact, and it's a conscious effort a lot of the time to block it, hold it back, because I don't really want. That's just how it is. It's part of the reason I'm trying to find some space, and why the city is not really the place for me to be doing such things. But circumstances being what they are, I said to my sister the other day, well, the choice was before I was able to pay for the room. It's that or I sleep in the park at this point, and I choose not to do that. Well, Bobo didn't really answer me, and the bloke next to me, he was eyes wide. He was looking towards Bobo to see what they were. Because the point is, he didn't say a word. He was a very polite gentleman. He was quite interested to hear what Bobo's response was going to be, because it's pretty freaking obvious. I'm not the first to raise that, and also the maybe that was obvious or not, but the simple fact that Bobo, how the fuck did you know that I had the bathroom light on with the thing on? All night that I had fallen asleep. I said it to him. I wasn't being tricky. I wasn't being sneaky. I wasn't Bobo on it. But I was like, he didn't really answer. There's a couple of pigeons. That's nice. I put some bread out there earlier, thinking. Put it out there yesterday, thinking, because the little Mario turned up when I first got here. It's not the nicest. It's you can do some plants out there, but frankly, they're good luck surviving. Perhaps once I leave this joint, because I'm not sure that that's really the vibe, and Bobo's probably more going to be focused on who's using what in the room that they've paid for, and how is that known. There's a number of ways I inadvertently stumbled across, as I do, just trying to exist within some part of the realm view. And I was like, okay, that's doing that. I might actually just ask him about one of the ones that, because now I've got to go back down. He didn't want to give me this. He did. He didn't say he didn't want to. He just seemed resistant. He didn't say no, I'm not giving you that. He was like, I said, well, Thanks, I said, it's actually a contract. So it's reasonable. You get a copy, I get a copy. That's how contract works. And I was just starting to read through this before I noticed, oh shit, the date's wrong. So I have to go down and ask him that. There was something else in here that I thought, oh, I better get. No, it's because I couldn't freaking. Yeah, Dave. I couldn't see the one that I'd signed. Just as when I got the physical copy printed out for me, he didn't want to do because I took a photo of that. I can read that. That's this one here. Very blue, in fact. You may have heard that before. I did. I think I said it as well. But, what's more? Well, I'd like to take the picture again, but it's not. It's pointless. Oh, that's right. The other thing. One of the things. I was trying to. I'd said to him, I explained the driver's license situation. Said that's and look, I paid for this for him now for the next 4 nights. You wouldn't know about the paperwork, but anyhow. I said, well, interestingly, I said, because I have had this issue at other places, and I said, well, the Graham was quite happy to photocopy my certified copy of the passport and birth certificate, which is what I had there. He didn't want to do that. I said, look, the Mayfair Hotel, they were alright with it. Anyhow, I'll go on. But I said, the back of the driver's license, I said, certainly the back of mine, on the back of my mother's ones, I don't know if I said the mother's one bit to him, because I was thinking, he doesn't really sick of hearing any words come out of my mouth. He didn't really expect or want that. That's part of the transaction that's probably a bit, well, maybe it's tricky to deal with when you're just packing them in and expecting no one to reply or consider that they may perhaps rescind the contract because it's not, well, the certain elements of the contract are perhaps implied or implicit, and I've been too much like that, certainly in the past and perhaps currently. I need to be a little more forward, not so much in my thinking, but on the front foot wise. Rather, I can still be polite. I'm almost polite. I don't seem to. It takes quite a bit for me to lose it in being polite in that regard. Certainly, it happens. Oh yeah, for sure. But it's not. It's really not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm here for. And I just get it there. We deal with all sorts of dickheads and lots of things that happen to individuals. It's not just happening to people running companies or trying to work with them or whatever. It's happening to men and women that have been corporatised, didn't even realise it or have realised it. And you know what? You get fucked over even more when you realise what's going on, it seems, perhaps in a way, at least at this point in my game. So I'm going to send him that. I was trying to find the picture that I'd taken of the back of the license. It'll be in the phone, but I'm not very good at using the phone. I don't really enjoy using it. It's actually harms in many ways using this damn thing. But without having it, yeah, just going to say it impolitely perhaps, you're fucked if you haven't got a mobile phone in this realm, not just this realm, this pointy twin towers I'm staying in now, but which looks very nice and shiny. I was seeing it from... Oh yeah, that's the key and the fob and hit the ground and the fucking, I joined that bloody site, but I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake again. It was a moment of, call it weakness, call it what you like. It was I decided otherwise in a short period of time. I had my park. I'm about to delete the bloody app. I can't get this. You got to be. Tell you what, you got to be strong. Like, I'm not weak. I'm reasonable strength. I'm dead set. And it's fucking hard. It's hard for me to get these things up. And that door, fuck me. Like, you gotta, anyhow, you don't have to. In fact, don't. I'm not letting really anyone except for me. So I take that back. You can't. But and didn't call you that. Either way. As far as the door goes, it's like, it takes that fair. You gotta slam the shit out of that to make it to. So they're heavy doors, and so they should be, because you've got to stop the sound. There's a lot of terrible sounds come from out there. Much nicer at night. I mean, you get the sounds probably more intense, but the light's wonderful. And yeah, but it was differently being in the city. What was I coming out here for? Oh yeah. So that's the Mayfair. Did I call it the Mayflower before? Maybe for a similar sounding. There's the top of it. You can actually just see the room I was in. Probably hard to see here because I can't see the zoom further than that. There's an arch on it, and it was right on it. Yeah, no, it's probably got to do it either way. So I'd been seeing this place from there, and look, it's funny. It's like these twin towers with like the gold. It looks quite cool. It was doing old change. It was wonderful. Wonderful sim realisation experience. And why is that? There's a different blue square. I don't know what that blue square is on the top. It's not usually there. Oh, I guess I'm back to that. That's interesting. Alright. Either way. I'm going to go back down there before it's been too long, just to say, yeah, can you give me some new paperwork, please? I'll just ensure that it reflects, because at this stage, well, it seems like you're going to boot me out Saturday, and I paid for the room. I'd like to stay till Sunday, please. And look, I'm aware that I'm probably going to say this, but there's no point. Oh, I think he's probably listening anyway. He's been really like, that's yeah. It's an unfortunate reality, perhaps, in this, I don't know, pessimistic, grim, social credit finality, a score assigned to you, whether you knew you were being scored or assigned as someone to be spied upon because you thought you were okay to be behind accommodation for a period of time. How do you know the life? How do you know? And there's some of the issues I'd found things at the beginning. I was like, I was in my mind, I was like, what can I do to help? Like, I was thinking, because I thought, that's a wonderful shower head, it looks great. But before I got in the shower and just turned it on, it was like, it doesn't drain very well at all. It doesn't match the shower head. They'd be going through a shitload of water, I thought, and dramas, because the bathroom was like, I caught it just in time. It would have flooded the whole freaking bathroom. I don't think the water. I mean, I cleaned up out here when I got here. There's bits of bread there now. There was cigarette butts and fucking there's things, right, which was not very nice. It's just not very nice. Some plants would be lovely, but I don't even know if that drain works properly. It's hard to say. The lean there looks right without a level. You just don't know. And maybe they just got things shonkily built. Maybe it's happened to them. I was thinking, lots of things, lots of ways it could happen. And how do you pay? A lot of the systems, I thought, that's a bit, it's just how they're doing it. I try to help, try to do things the right way. It's me. That's my affliction within the game of the, I don't know, it's missing loyalty or lacking it, seeming to me. Perhaps their perspective or response or their conceived appropriate action, admittedly being nods, or one of the nods it's like, yeah, here's 2 pieces, thank you very much. there's no A on the Kmart at night up there. Funny, I thought, I don't know, it seemed funny to me, I don't know why. And that's a funny building that it would look like you could see through it from there. And then at night time it would still look like that. Now it's got other things in there, anyhow, off track and on the same track. Alright, I'm gonna go downstairs and hopefully Bobo's still there. He was there when he checked me in at the beginning. And then he can update my paperwork and I'll get back to enjoying city living for the short period of time I'm able to do so. Fortunately I haven't got my vehicle in here. I have got my vehicle, my bicycle. I haven't got my ute, which is my sister helped me out with the defect thing yesterday. I could go get that, but they charge $25 a day for parking. I'm not even sure mine could fit in there from the dimensions they'd given. And frankly, in this dimension, it's like, wow, yeah, I'm not really one for doing the taking, but yeah, receiving the given can be slim or can be a little ill-fitting when it's not what you were. Yeah, it's just difficult, it's tricky. And I've got somewhere to look nice to stay, so please don't get me wrong, I'm far from ungrateful. So not in that way. I was trying to fix the range hood here, but I hadn't tried to fix it. I just thought, oh, the lights aren't doing it, because I just took it's not like a big deal. Not a big deal. Nice bathroom room. Just you can't get a smell out. It stays musty. Where's the fucking light? Yeah. And it might be a drainage issue. They've got other issues with the chutes of the garbage I never used. It's obviously quite standard. And if you're living in a freaking giant tower, it happens. I think Seinfeld, no, they didn't show me that. I presumed that it was standard to have chutes with garbage and things. And yeah, alright. Enough. This is lovely, this up here. Really like this. Seems nice. Having a fridge here, it's great. It's really good. This is it's interesting. Alright, I'd go and look, Bobo, you probably know everything I'm saying, everything I'm doing. I tell a lot on or off, or whether I come or go, and maybe that was your intention. And yeah, just don't know if it's appropriate, or whether I should even mention. Yeah. And of course, yeah, you want people to not use electricity, right? So, yeah, I get that. That thing at the front, I mean, that only seems to have a microphone, it doesn't seem to work. Yeah, and I was told, he told me 911, but the key said 912, so I just checked into 912. Then after a bit, and there's even things on the wall that suggested 911. I clarified that with him before, and they've got issues with the Wi-Fi or something. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I've been thinking, shit, maybe I was supposed to go into 911. Apparently it's a 2-bedroom unit. There hadn't been anyone there. I'm like, well, things might work better in that one. But look, I didn't go and check the key. The key might work, and the lock's a shit house. And perhaps, yeah, part of I was thinking, oh, maybe I was meant to do that. And then they'll come and check 912 and to be done in it. And then I just stay in 911, and maybe Bobo was that version of Bobo was just trying to help me out the other day. But being me, I'm like, well, no, I'd like to clarify with Bobo and do the right thing. Not knowing his name was Bobo, and just really enjoying saying it this morning, having just learned it maybe an hour ago. Oh, much love to all, everyone. Even the plastic plants are pretty nice to have around, gotta say, as far as plants go. And yeah, as for the Bobo parts, well, it's yet to be. Time will remain. Didn't really work. Time will tell, and yeah, maybe it'll be all good, one and the same, or different versions served toward me repeatedly, and that's the game. Was never told that, but that's how it goes. That's what test is for. You can't return it just to say test is broken. Ripping off org in a way like I have before. Can I have another test, please? I don't have the answers to a lot of these questions. That's why you're taking the test. That's the point of the test. So I'm going with that. So thank you, Og, and all the rest. I don't know if that's still recording. Don't really know. I'm doing it in the funny way through the screen thing. All right, I'm out. Much love. before, after, and as we go. Alright, bye now. And just documenting for myself. Of course, well, Bobo wasn't there. There's a sticker on there. Bobo wasn't there. It was a different day. And so I was explaining it, because I know you're right, that this says Saturday. I said, yeah, it's supposed to be. Because it basically only says Thursday night, Friday night, and I paid for Saturday and Sunday night as well. Because I thought just get through the week, the weekend, and then go. Given it's probably holiday tomorrow here, Anzac Day. I wasn't sure it was today or tomorrow. I thought just before, but and I'd extended it because I didn't want to get stuck. But that dude there, he's like, oh no, you paid, no, because you've only paid for, you got to come down and do the rebooking. If you want to extend the room, you're gonna have to come down and do that on, well, Saturday. And I was like, well, no, he took 2 separate payments off my card. I had to put my card in twice. I had to press the button twice. He goes, oh, that would have been the security deposit. So okay, it's not what he said. Because I said, oh, can I just have a copy of the paperwork to match that? Because it's not what I was told. And he was like, oh no, he's reassuring me it's fine. So it's not, frankly, it's not what Bobo said. It's not what I understood had been the case. I've walked away and gone, oh, okay, fine. Apparently security deposit. Then I had to put it in for a second time. That's not what Bobo said. Perhaps by Saturday I'll be quite pleased to not have paid for another 2 nights in the Realm Clicks Beast. I don't know, maybe. Look, the fact that my sisters helped me, and then my brother-in-law, and they've got the defect off my car. It's great. She never been defected. I fixed the bloody mirror ages ago. It's just a long story as to why that never got resolved. I fixed it before the red Joe was due. It's just issues with the motherland and a whole lot of other nonsensical places declaring they're a safe land somewhere to try and pretend that you haven't been branded, but no, you pretty much have. Difficult to say otherwise or avoid or deal with if you think about it too much. And I don't know whether I have too much. Thought about just enough, and that's enough for me. It's true. A lot of non-free, opposite of free things in the we're so civilised Western parent society. Not what they say, not what I made up in my own mind along the way a lot of the time. I'm out. Much love. Here you go. Much love. That's what we got. Love, sweet love.